oysters, clams, and cockles.
Damn you, I was going to say that.
Alrighty, welcome to 406 Broncos. I'm Mac.
I'm Dakota.
And we got a lot to talk about in this second preseason game. I thought we actually laid it out a little better. Yes, we lost. You always do that. We lost, but we had a better performance.
Yes,
I
agree.
believe.
I would agree with that.
And there was a couple of other people who shined on this game. Didn't shine as much the last game, but shined more in this game. There's people that we, expected what they brought out on that game.
And just continued their success, yeah.
Also, I do think I'll give it a little bit, I believe there was a little bit better play calling.
No, I 100% agree. I think the coaching really stepped up its game, unlike I expected them to. I did not think that... I was worried we were going to be heading down the same path that we were last year, but we pointed out pretty well, like both offensively and defensively, that there was some
Well, they
different...
changed it up.
Yeah, there was different... Well, that's good. There was different play calls, and it just shows that they are actually, like, they're, changing it. They're not just sticking with the status quo like they did last year.
Yeah.
So
and when they actually tried doing things outside of their comfort zone. Mm-hmm. We saw a flea flicker in there, and I like them trying that kind of stuff. See if it works or not. I don't care. It's preseason.
We saw some different blitz packages dialed up. We saw
they
some good coverages.
And then they had them where they show the pressure and release it.
Yeah, they disguised. Yeah.
So I liked that, they were doing all that stuff, and it worked.
And as a result, we were a lot closer in that game. And the only reason we really lost that game was because of the third string.
On Paxton Lynch. Pretty much all the points we had, almost up to 20, besides Chad Kelly did some work there too, was the starters. Yeah. And
first
Chad
and second
Kelly.
String for sure.
And then went downhill with the third string. That's what lost us the game. But before that, they didn't really score much on us besides one.
No, the score does not reflect the performance, in my opinion. I think we highly outperformed ourselves from last week.
It showed that our defense was stopping it too.
Yeah.
In scenarios, they drove it down on us a couple of times. But I really like the promise it shows, because at the end of the last season itself, we didn't see much excitement in the defense itself, like turnover ratios and like interceptions and we saw one, and it sparked a little bit of excitement in me, because we saw that all that time. Did Justin Simmons get a turnover? Yeah, it was Justin Simmons.
And we had the safety, so two big defensive points. Chubb got the safety.
The safety. Yep, I forgot about it. I thought you meant the safety of the player, like whoever got like an interception.
No, yeah. We got the safety and an interception, so two big defensive, turnovers, basically.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome, and that really showed kind of a case for Bradley Chubb, that safety. Granted, there were
it was kind of
back there,
it was kind of a giveaway, but even still,
he pushed his way through, and how he gobbled him up, I loved it.
He had good awareness on it, and even if it was just kind of a give me play for him, it's gonna be a huge momentum booster. It's gonna be a big, just charge for him, and kind of a weight off his back almost, I feel like, as far as his NFL experience. And I think he's gonna open up and loosen up and do more stuff now. So
right. We don't have really much of a game plan for this episode. I don't know where we want to go on this whole
let's go ahead
discussion.
Let's talk some players. Let's talk about some players who continuously are doing good from last week to this week, because there was quite a few of them
continuously doing good.
First of all, Demaryius Thomas didn't play this game. If you didn't know, it was just a slight wrist injury. I found out. Nothing to be too worried about.
So
and Sua Cravens is hopefully suiting up for practice this week.
Okay. Well, and so how would you want to do this? The three players you said that, you expected. Who performed good again.
Yeah, and if there's some more, we can just throw them in there. But off the top of my head, Chad Kelly obviously did really good again, just like he did last week. Continued his success. I'm going to say Marquette King. he's the one who pretty much pinned
Oh
him
my
deep.
gosh, I actually love that. I hated being on the other side of that ball.
Yeah.
When he'd kick and the flaunting the
little horse.
yeah, the horse thing he'd do, but dude, that guy can kick, and he's good. He's good at placement too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's basically the reason that we got that safety ultimately is because he pinned them so deep. And then almost did it again, where it looked like it went out of bounds right on the
pylon.
But
I guess they called that touchback.
But he's good, like he's still just that close. You know what I mean? Like that shows something.
Royce Freeman also showed us again that kid will probably be the starter.
He hasn't done anything to show that he shouldn't be, and it doesn't help that Booker isn't really doing anything to show that he should be.
Booker had some plays themselves, but yet Booker hasn't got a touchdown, and he's been out there quite frequently, as much as Royce. I might say Royce has probably got a little bit more field since
I still think, and I think Royce is taking more of the chances he's been giving. You know, like, I still think Booker has a place on this team. But you know what else doesn't help Booker is that Philip Lindsay's still doing good, too. Like, that's another guy.
I was going to say, that'd be on the list as well. Is that Philip Lindsay kid is just... He's playing his heart out. Like, and he's doing good. Like, I believe that kid has a spot in our team.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And how he's performing.
Well, I mean, he's... If not on... in rotation of running backs, he'll be a special teams guy. Like he made one of their tackles on special teams. He's been returning punts and whatnot. Speaking of returning punts, Isaiah McKenzie didn't do bad on that. He did have a fumble on that. They've been kind of roasting him for that. So we'll see if he keeps up with what he's doing. They've already said Vance Joseph is not giving up on him. Who would have expected more or less?
Okay, I see with Isaiah McKenzie. I mean, he made me not like him last year at all. But I do see a potential in him. The fact that I saw him stop, and he did it this last game. He stops and read the field a little bit, knowing he had time to do that, and made the moves, which was good. And he got field advantage on that, or he got 11 more yards or something.
He did, yeah. He got a good run on that, if I remember right.
Yeah, he did a good run on that. So he's got potential. Yeah, there's just a lot of things you have to work with him on, and he's a very big risk taker, and that scares me.
Yeah, so maybe, I mean, even if you give him half the touches on these kickoff plays, that might be, maybe something.
That was one thing too. Is he's looking, and he did the fair catch, and it was clear as day a fair catch. It was getting on the later side, but he still did it. And it was clear as day, and
obviously,
then some guy licked him hard.
Yeah.
And they looked at him.
Put him down for a minute too.
Yeah, but they checked. He didn't have a concussion.
No,
right?
no. They put him in the tent and everything. He was good.
Okay.
Chris Harris also did not play.
That's right. Tremaine Brock
finally
played. He played good. He didn't play too bad.
No, he did good. He I think honestly, well, we'll see. This was only his first game, but. I mean, there's a good chance he'll get that third spot, and Isaac Adam will just play in rotation, which is fine because he's got a lot to learn. Yeah. Isaac Adam still did good. I still think everything's there for him. He's just
we had another play where he's right there with the guy. He just needs to remember to look and be able to know where that ball placement's going. Like we discussed before, those quarterbacks and those receivers like to do that on. I mean, they can take an advantage on a rookie cornerback.
Yeah, well,
and they'll throw to those people more.
Once he puts it all together, he's gonna be good. Like you can just see it just on the brink, and he'll be all right. Okay, so how about some players that we think did improvements or are worth noting? From last week to this week, or just stood out in some way, shape, or form?
Who stood out to me? One of the most is Hireman stood out. One of the most. Man trucked his butt off, and he did some wonderful plays, and they were fun to watch. Man, that guy can bulldoze some people. That was funny to watch.
That was really good. No, he made a huge statement in that game. Like he was kind of on my bubble for maybe making the roster. because of his injury, history. But there's a very good chance we might see Hireman and Butt as your 1-2 punch on the
I'd love to
tight
see
end, which
that
is
too.
great. I've always loved a 2 tight end system, especially when you got guys that can run people over like that. And,
exactly.
And I still don't think we've seen the tip of the iceberg for Butt either. So
no. That's the thing too. We haven't seen much of them play with Butt, but we'll see. These next 2 games, I mean, obviously the 4th game really shows for most of those people, and hopefully
we're trying to make the spot. Yeah.
But I don't know. Hireman did really well, and he was probably. I would say it's hard. I'd say he's probably my standout player of the game.
For sure, I would say that. I wanted to point out. Tim Patrick, wide receiver. Never heard of him until last week.
Did that wonderful catch over top the corner.
And they've been saying he's been doing really good in practice. With this whole Carlos Henderson stuff going down, you've heard about that? He got suspended for a game.
Oh yeah. No, was that for that drug?
Yeah. And so it was either for it might not have been for drug. It might have been for like something else.
I thought it was the marijuana.
Yeah, I feel like the league handles stuff like that though. It might have just been whatever it was. He got suspended a game, and it was only preseason. I don't know. I don't remember if it's an actual season game. It's a 1-game thing. But anyway, they're talking about him maybe not making the cut. I think he should still get practice squatted. But this Tim Patrick guy could easily be that guy that swoops in, because you got to figure 4 of these slots are taken for sure, being Sanders, Thomas, Deshaun Hamilton, and Sutton. And then you're probably going to give a 5th one to Isaiah McKenzie if he wins that kick return slot. And then you're really only going to have 6 guys. So Tim Patrick's probably that 6th guy at the moment, because he's shown he's a tall guy. He's a possessions receiver. He can go up and make a catch. I mean, that's the guy you want on the team, you know what I mean? Like when you already have 2 small receivers being McKenzie and Sanders. Fill it in. And Hamilton's pretty small, too, actually, for a receiver. So if you fill that in with 3 other big guys, that makes a pretty good recipe for your wide receiving core. So we'll see what happens with that. But I wanted to point out Tim Patrick. He really impressed me. He made me take a double look on him. Other names to point out. Royce. I'm still going to put Royce in there just because he's not definitively the guy. He's still fighting for his job. We know Kelly's going to be the backup as far as that goes. So Kelly's still, I mean, yeah, he impressed me, but I didn't really expect less from that. Royce is still one of those guys that's hard to kind of field out just yet, but he definitely made it.
Well, he's really making a name for himself on this because, I mean, this is the 2nd game we've seen with him, and this is the 2nd touchdown we've seen, too.
Yeah.
Both really incredible runs, too. I guess this one wasn't as big as the other one, but I mean, just the movements and just the procedure just to get to the end zone is just, it looks good, and kind of reminds me of the CJ days we had. And maybe we have our own little Anderson back again, but
you can see some promise in this kid where he's lowering the shoulder, he's taking contact, he's making moves, getting through the hole.
Oh, I mean, his footwork's good too. I mean, he jukes guys out left and right now, and I love that. Or he just knows how to shuffle really good.
Absolutely.
So I still think that he's going to take the spot. I think this is getting to Booker's head too, definitely, like, because Freeman's pretty much playing out or outplaying him right now, and what Davante we talked about last week too is, I mean, what the route is what the route goes. I mean, he just goes, guts right goes right to the wall if there is one there. So I mean, he doesn't change it up
scan
anymore.
Of the field or anything like that.
So, but I mean, I saw some okay plays with Booker. Royce just looks better to me.
Yeah.
And
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I was gonna say Bradley Chubb's another one I would put there as far as.
We could talk, or we already just did discuss that.
But he's one I'm gonna put on my list there too. Garcia Williams did pretty good too. I remember. I feel like he made some play that made me kind of do a.
Hey, did we figure out what that injury was on.
Will Parks?
Yeah, Will Parks.
I can look it up really quick. I don't
Because
have my phone on me. Here.
He's had they had like a knee situation with him.
Just look up Will Parks news.
All right.
Yeah, Will Parks went out of the game. I'm actually gonna knock on wood real quick. Thank God we've been blessed by the injury gods at this point right now, because when you look around the league at all these big injuries that keep coming up, we're pretty blessed that we've only had 2 major injuries, being Parks and I think his name's Bolden. But yeah, he's out for the season. The other guy, number 20. Oh, okay.
Be back on the field soon, so it's not too bad. It looks like you be losing maybe a game.
Obviously optimistic about his return. So he seems like Will Parks actually is a guy that's been impressing me this preseason in general, both games. He didn't really stand out in either game, but he's made enough plays that he's fighting for his job, and he's doing a good job doing it, because he was another guy that was on the bubble. And, I mean, it's coming down to it, man. There are so many... We said it last week. I'm going to say it again. There are so many spots. There's only 53 spots. And there's so many players that deserve these spots. And they're working so hard to get them. You can't let one of those spots be taken up by a guy like Paxton Lynch. You just can't do it. Because I'm sorry, Paxton. I hate to be the guy, I don't like to be a guy that downs people for their jobs and wants people out of their job. But it's just, this is not the place.
Well, this is the truth.
He's had so much time to do this.
Yes, he had a lot of time to prove his worth on our team. A lot. And now he has his 4th chance to do it. In preseason, Chad Kelly is lighting it up, and Paxton Lynch can't even do it with the... what's the word I'm looking?
Third string.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. String is what I was looking for. He's getting lit up by third strings. Practically just him and the third string lost that game, and we were up on them by a decent margin.
Yeah.
Where any regular game with those two competing, I mean, it looked like we could have held that one.
And obviously people are going to say, well, he's working with third string guys. He's also working against third string guys.
Exactly.
So it's like if you put Case Keenum out with the third stringers, he's going to make them look good.
Yeah.
You make your team look good as your quarterback. You need a little help, but everything runs from you. And if you can't even get that going, come on, man. It's just time to cut the fat. He'll probably be around for this next week, but when it comes down to the chopping block and you're going to decide between a guy like Paxton Lynch or, Garcia Williams or, I'm trying to look at some guys that might... Will Parks even, I'd take an injured Will Parks into the season versus a healthy Paxton Lynch. Because Will Parks has proven that he deserves a spot on this team.
We just gotta think about it too. I mean, what has he brought to us last season? I mean, we had that quarterback fight all last season with Simeon, Osweiler, and Lynch, and no one could prove their worth. I mean, Simeon was, above the pedestal on all 3 of them, or on the other 2 of them, and then give Paxton Lynch his chance. Guy gets injured on a non-contact injury and was out 4 weeks on that. And just that we can't have anything like that. And let alone he didn't provide anything before he got injured. He got an interception and had maybe 30 yards in the field.
Has yet to throw a touchdown in the preseason.
Yeah, Has
you're talking about last...
I'm talking about last year, but has yet to throw a touchdown.
Well, I think he has. I can't say that for
sure. But no, I'm just saying what he has provided for us last year. We got to think of Paxton Lynch is pretty much the same as we've always seen him with our team. So
and ask anybody. Ask somebody who doesn't even watch football. If they know, obviously, 1st round picks are valuable, 7th round picks are at least less valuable. If you tell somebody, Yeah, we have a guy, he was a first-round draft pick, lost his job the first year to a sixth-round draft pick, lost his job the second year to the same sixth-round draft pick, and now he's losing his backup job to a seventh-round draft pick.
All
does that tell you?
around last pick.
Yeah, what does that
draft.
tell you?
Tells you to cut your losses, get rid of it.
I mean, it's so obviously in red. The writing is on the wall, man. It just can't happen. We can't continue this way.
No.
What's he gonna do? Just sit on the bench? Like, come on.
What got me too is what did we listen to is with the press report on with Vance Joseph, told him that Chad Kelly's is going up to number 2, and he was upset, and he asked why. What do you mean why?
Yeah.
If you can't figure out why,
that's already
that's
number
the
one.
problem.
Because
man.
you're not. If you don't think there's a problem, you're not trying to fix it.
Yeah.
So, I wonder why he's not getting better.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sick of it. He needs to get going.
Oh, okay. Oh, we still got we're still doing good.
Stop it.
Sorry, I was just checking the time.
Well, you can see it down there.
Yeah, I didn't know where to look.
So, on another note, we were talking with quarterbacks now. Okay, we gotta watch Keenum do some plays.
Oh yeah.
We actually gotta watch him, make some moves, and he looked good too. There was a couple times too. I mean, they squeezed in there pretty good on him, and he got pressured.
He had a few overthrows too.
He did. He had a couple of overthrows, which this can happen too. I mean, he's a new quarterback with a whole new setup, new receivers, new plays.
He did say even himself though that he knows this because his footing was bad. Yeah. And he said he's going to work on that. So it's good that he recognizes
what he did wrong. As you know your faults and try working on them.
Yeah. So he definitely was not perfect, but he
still, there's a lot of passes in there that looked really good. Like that, he threaded the needle, a bullet to, who was that? Was that Sutton or?
Might have been Hireman or he threw a lot to. Are you talking about touchdown?
No, it was between. It was in the middle of the field. There was 3 men around, but he got it.
Oh, it was Deshaun Hamilton.
Was it Deshaun Hamilton? Okay, that was a great pass. I liked that. A lot to Hireman. I like that.
He had a touchdown to Hireman.
I like the fact to utilize the tight end, man. Utilize the tight end as much as you can.
He was targeting Sanders a lot, too.
Yeah, he did have Sanders a bit, too.
He had 2 times. He had Sanders wide open in the end zone, overthrew him. He had Hamilton open in the end zone, overthrew him. So he's good, but that's good. It's good. It's good that this is happening in preseason. He can work on it. He can work with his guys. He's also he doesn't know their tendencies as well either. So he's learning that too. He's learning to trust these guys, that they'll be in their spot, that they're gonna that takes time.
I guess you trust them, but. We were talking that, of course, give in to what the media wants and let Keenum go out there and play until they make something. And they didn't get it on the first drive, I don't believe, and they barely got much on the second. I can't even remember now. I know the third drive was really well, but they let him back out there once more.
Yeah, they let him play almost the whole quarter, which is whatever, or it might have even been almost the whole 2 quarters.
No, I think it was a whole. Well, it was a whole quarter and maybe a little more.
It was 4 drives.
Had a complete. Oh, did he have 4 drives?
I think so. Because I remember thinking, because they scored and then they went out again, and I was like, why? And we almost scored again though.
Yeah.
But
I think we got a field goal.
Yeah, but it was just I felt kind of that was kind of a little much, but it doesn't matter. It ended up being all right. I just feel like Vance Joseph really caves into what everybody wants. He kind of doesn't really have a mind of his own. It seems like. You know what I mean? It seems like everyone's like, oh, well, you should be like Chad Kelly. And then he's like, oh, well, Chad Kelly's second string. Which is fine. It made sense. That was right. That was the right call. But then it's like, oh, well, the starter should have played more. He's like, well, now they're gonna. You know what I mean? It's like.
I know. I mean, there's no, his say isn't definitive.
It doesn't seem that way. I mean, maybe everybody's just so right that that is obviously the right call. And to an extent, it is. You know what I mean? But it just seems to me like he kind of just does what he's told and like doesn't really have his own like agenda that he runs by, which is not very coachy. You know, like that. You're the head coach. Like you are the one who sets the tone on the field and sets the tone in the locker room and in the practices. Don't just go off of what your media wants and what. I mean, even what John Elway wants. You know, John Elway's just the GM. He's not the coach.
We're getting into a politician here now.
Whatever.
Hey, before I forget, and what's on my mind is give me the best Chad Kelly face while on the field.
Oh, and then the eyes. He really.
Yeah, just
He's got that crooked face.
Dude, he's got a very serious face when he's out there, which is good.
Yeah, look up pictures. He's got a tiny. Oh no! The squished face. It's really in and then tilt. He's got a tiny little face.
But we love you, Chad.
Another thing before we're getting close to our time here. Helmet rule. It's a talk that everyone's talking about it. So we're gonna give a little bit of our own peace of mind. Helmet rule. Lot of helmet rule stuff going on. I think there was like 3 or 4 in our game alone. They said there's been 55 penalties in 31 games for that helmet contact rule.
Jeez.
Realistically, I'm just gonna like turn over my thoughts onto just look up anything Louis Riddick has to say about this because he is so on point. He talks about how, you're trained to tackle with the shoulder, right? Well, last I checked, the head is attached to the shoulders. Absolutely. So anatomically speaking, you cannot do it without somewhat of your head making contact. Now, the rule is supposed to be that the top of your head, you're not supposed to lead and spear with the top of your head, and that's cause for penalty. Well, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't it be? So if the side of your helmet hits, or if you lower the head to make a wrap-up tackle, and the other guy lowers his head, or lowers his body and gets hit by the head, positions his body differently, how is that the defender's fault? You know what I mean? Like, but I did hear on the radio today, though, that the NFL is getting together to really, since this is just becoming such a huge deal, like everybody is talking about it, they're all getting together to more, I think with league official, like reffing officials and stuff like that, just to be more clear on what they're looking for and be clear, like this is what we need to do. And realistically, I think in the preseason they're kind of just, it might hopefully not be as bad as what it's been in the preseason, but maybe they're just kind of warming up to the changes themselves as refs.
Get some bugs fixed, I guess, is kind of the terms they want. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's hard to make or have a full contact sport and then nerf it with not be able to touch your head on someone almost.
I mean, you can't help it. Like if your face mask hits a guy, they're big helmets. You're gonna clunk helmets. There's a reason you have them. It's so you don't hurt your head.
I know.
Like,
and I mean, you're in a sport. I mean, we don't like to see injuries, but this is a sport that
oysters, clams, and couples.
This is a sport where injuries are going to happen. I mean, that's why we wear all that padding and everything like that. Well, now, if you're nerfing the fact of how you're supposed to tackle someone, I mean, it's hard because you got to think in this mind of the defender or even like in the offense, the split second of how to tackle this person. Mm-hmm. Well, how is he positioned? You have to look at the trajectory of everything before I can go in and swoop and somehow get him down on the ground. Exactly.
And I have to get this guy down.
Or they're going to score. That's how the game is played. Now, we have to figure out, because these guys got to tackle. Well, if you're going to foul them or you're going to throw the flag on them tackling, what the heck are they supposed to do, man? They have a split second to think about it. Really. Realistic terms. You're not the defender. I mean, I've played that position before.
Well, and I like what Derek Wolfe had to say about it, too. I'm not going to quote Derek Wolfe because I don't know word for word what he said, but he basically said, when I go out on that field, I know the risk I'm taking, and, you know, like, this is a sport. This is a sport for people who can handle that. Like, we're trained for this. We're professionals. You go out there, I mean, and I get that they want to, like, level down on head injuries. Like, that makes sense. But you can't just completely nerf it. Like, sure, the spearing of the head, that's always been against the rules, but you're making it more of an emphasis, and that's great. Just don't completely take out the tackle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, otherwise, what's the point? But that's all I'm going to say about that. Because it's pretty, I mean, everybody's talking about it, but I am also not exactly pleased with the way this helmet rule's been going, because it's a 15-yard penalty. Like, that's a
big penalty.
Yeah. That's a lot of yards that you're just getting for something that's just an everyday tackle, you know? And this is going to be called on offensive players, too, when they lower their head to truck through guys.
It's hard, man. Like,
it's really hard for defensive
you
players.
gotta think, yeah, these guys are trying to play their heart out and to win.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they got to do things to win. And they got to do things to stop the other people from winning.
Right. Well, any closing arguments? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to add?
When's our next one's Friday?
Friday at 5:30 against the Redskins.
Shoot, I don't think I can watch that one.
Why? You out of town?
Yeah, we got to go out of town.
When are you leaving?
Unfortunately, I believe Friday night.
Friday night, back Sunday morning?
Morning-ish or afternoon or something.
Fantasy football starts Sunday.
Yeah.
We got a draft Sunday, Monday, and Saturday or Friday.
Why?
That's the Toyota one.
This Sunday?
Not this Sunday. Oh, this Sunday's OG.
And
then Monday's my family one. And then either Friday or Saturday is Toyota.
Next Friday or Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So lots of fantasy football coming up. And what else? Yeah. Redskins on the road. Should be a good game. Like us on Facebook. Make sure to get the word out. Talk to your friends. Tell them about the show. Share it. Whatever. And subscribe to us on YouTube. Late.